you can do it. Do it. Give it a chance. Take a shot and keep it moving. Moving. Stop giving up. Never let them take your spot. Don't let them take your spot.
Yeah, I want the beat to drop though. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the world. This is Brian Christoper of Train to Catch Planes.
Hey everybody, it's Shivita, Nikita, the one and only of Train to Catch Planes.
Yo, we in the building, man. It's crazy because we're already on show number 3. Give it up for show number 3. I guess I'll insert some applause right there. You were supposed to cheer right there, Shivita, but it's okay. I'll insert the applause.
Do that.
It's all good. Hey, man, this week, first of all, we've been getting some crazy feedback from our last 2 episodes. People have gotten some real substance, some real knowledge. You know what's real crazy, though? My father hit me up and said he's listened to the last show at least 3 times.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's real crazy,
That's
man.
crazy.
So to be impacting even your own family, you know what I'm saying? And they support, first of all, what he's invested in me.
Right.
Wow, he's getting a return. I think he's getting a return now. And it's about time because I was kind of wild. Enough about my week, Shivita. Enough about me.
Oh.
What's going on in your life, man? I think the people kind of want to hear
You
from
know
you.
what? This has been a very interesting week because I have a lot of opportunities that got presented to me this week.
Okay.
And it's funny because it seems like everything is lining up in one area. But it's weird because I want to be in a totally different area. Like,
Ooh.
Everything is lining up in Atlanta for me, but I want to be in California. So it's like, how do you decide where do you go when everything is in line? All you got to do is just step in and just do it versus what your heart wants and what you're passionate about, leaving what you know and going for what you want to do.
Oh, wow. Shivita. That is not an easy
It is
question to pose.
Not at all.
But that's crazy that you say everything is lining up for you right here in Atlanta, man.
Right.
First of all, that's a blessing. You know what I'm saying?
It
Just
is.
for anything to be lining up for anybody, anywhere. You know what I mean? So we are definitely grateful for everything that you're doing, man, because you're getting it in. And that's definitely why you're a part of Train to Catch Planes. And that's definitely why you're one of the facilitators of Train to Catch Planes, because things are lining up.
They are.
And they lining up because you've walked in your calling, walked in your wealth. You know what I'm saying? Now, Cali. So you want to leave us and go to Cali?
See, yes. It's not that I want to leave. It's just I love California, man. It's
Nothing
great.
wrong with that, man. Nothing is wrong with that. You know what? I'm really extremely excited about tonight's show because tonight we get to introduce our very first
The very first number one.
studio guest. I'm not going to tell you this person's name yet, but when this person comes on, you'll understand why this person is on the show. We're talking about being resourceful without resources. That's pretty serious, man. Being resourceful without resources. Shivita, I think a lot of times just in the scheme of life, so many people stop dead in their tracks because of lack of resources.
Right.
So many times that in our pursuit of our dreams, our ambitions, our goals, the pursuit of becoming successful, we get stopped on ground level because what we perceive of not having what it needs to accomplish what's in front of us.
That's why when chasing your dreams, it's important to be resourceful. Use what you already have around you. Don't let what you don't have stop you from doing what it is that you know that you're destined to do. You have to find a way to use what you already have and
Utilize
go for
it.
it.
And that reminds me of a quote. A quote from Pastor Taffy Dollar.
Okay.
She wrote an entire book on this subject, money being the lowest form of power.
Well,
So many times we put so much emphasis on just money. We put so much emphasis on the financial aspect of everything we do
right.
that
And
we
that's
negate.
like the smallest factor.
Come on, man.
The smallest factor.
Come on, man. Come on, man. And we put so much in it, man. And money is the lowest form of power. So, resource. Before we dive in, let's talk resource. What is a resource? I want to make sure that our listeners understand what a resource is, even before we go into this subject.
Okay, Brian Christoper, go ahead and define resources for us.
Yo, and y'all know I love definitions.
He does.
I'm kind of studious, you know what I mean? But a resource is a source of supply, support, or especially one that can be readily drawn upon when needed.
People who are resourceful, it's about being clever and being creative and willing to adapt. It's about being able to use what they already have around them. Mm-hmm. So it's not focused on one way of doing a thing, but willing to adapt to a different way if it's necessary.
So check this out, Shivita.
Yeah.
For a very long time in my life, I struggled with doing everything on my own. I always have been an independent type of person, always a get it done type person. But I think in the midst of that, I kind of got to the place where I was very self-reliant. Okay. So as I grew and became a business owner and an owner of multiple businesses, as I began to, move in certain endeavors, I had to actually break free from such an independent spirit. Okay. I had to actually come out of thinking I can do it all on my own. I was actually negating the fact that people are the most precious resource in the earth.
And you know what? It's funny you say that. That's exactly the same thing that I dealt with, trying to do everything on my own. I still sometimes have to realize that I have people around me that's willing to help. But coming out of an independent mindset, it allows me to use the resources that are around me. And then not only am I giving into my gift, but into other people's gifts as well.
Wow. Train to Catch Planes, man. The Lifestyle and Achievement Network, focused on accomplishing individual goals through group effort and support. You know what? Even with my record label, Resourceful Entertainment, I had to even begin referring to it differently because I was in a place where I used to call it a major independent.
Right.
Guess what I call it now?
What?
A major collective.
That's the way to go.
We're a major collective.
That's the way to go.
Come on, man. T2CP, where we believe where preparation and opportunity collide, you find limitless possibility. In the beginning of the show, I mentioned that I was very excited because we have our very first studio guest in the building.
We do.
And I want to take this very opportune time. I'm very honored. I need more words here. I need more description words. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe I'll just get right to it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you Fly Music in the building.
What's up, y'all?
She's here.
She's in the building.
Train to Catch Planes.
Train to Catch Planes, man. Hey, you know what? Fly.
Yeah.
One thing about Train to Catch Planes, first of all, we have very big things coming up, man. We have the blueprint.
Okay.
We have the blueprint.
The blueprint?
To success.
That's dope, man.
It's serious, right?
Yeah, it is serious. It's needed.
It is needed, man.
Yeah.
But one thing about Train to Catch Planes, man, we believe in going like you got it.
Yeah.
Like we go now, like we have it now. Because that's what we believe, man. So I think it was just so fitting to have you on this show, man, just to talk about some of the things that you're doing, where you come from, your journey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Introduce yourself, and then we'll go. Just give us a little background.
First of all, thank y'all for having me on the show. I'm honored, man. Name Fly Music with a Q. Don't forget the Q. I'm just playing.
Yeah, don't forget the Q. Hey, don't let them forget the Q.
Branding. Shout out to my branding people that be on my back. But yo, man, from College Park, Georgia, out south side of Atlanta, born and raised pretty much, and I'm an artist. I'm a speaker and I'm an author, and do a little hosting as well. But I just believe in using every gift that God has given me to just turn up, you know what I mean? In every way possible. I don't believe in leaving any gift unturned. So it's like I got to turn up all my gifts. If I can host, I'm a host. If I could be an artist, I'm be an artist. If I can speak, I can speak, and I'm gonna write a book. So whatever it takes to get out my ultimate purpose, I try to use every gift that God has given me to push one agenda and one purpose. So. Yeah.
That's amazing. Fly.
Yes.
First of all, you have how many books out?
3 books right now.
You have 3 books. You have how many albums?
3.
Okay, I'm sorry. You have 3 books, 3 albums.
Yeah.
You're also a very active community figure.
Oh, yeah. I love the community. People.
That sounds like you've had to be very resourceful.
Yeah, for sure.
Or Or do you just have everything, when you started, did you have everything already in place for you? Did you have a ready built platform? Or did you have to get out here and be creative?
I had to be creative. Still have to be creative. With every vision, I have to look for, like, okay, what resources can I tap into to execute this vision? But it never was laid out for me easily. It wasn't like, yo, this is the blueprint of writing a book, and I'm gonna give you $1 million to do it.
Yeah.
It never came like that. I never had a budget behind me. I never had a huge machine behind me to push out all these visions and ideas I had to literally figure it out. And so that caused me to really tap into resources and my greatest resource. So yeah, man, it never was given to me easy. I had to figure it out, but at the same time, it's easier than people think. I realized that the biggest battle of knowing if you can do a vision or not is in your head.
Yeah.
Because sometimes
Shivita, we did talk about that. I think was that last week?
That was last week on the Face Your Fear show.
That's crazy.
yeah, it's in your head. Like it's like
in your head.
a book. How can I do that? Then I realized it really didn't cost that much, and it really didn't require a lot.
Right.
It required you to execute, and I think that's the hardest part to do. We let everything stop us from just doing.
Wow.
And I don't want to give too much out now
It's
because I
all
don't know
good.
what else you gonna shoot at me.
We rock it. But that's amazing because I know a lot of our listeners, man, they have dreams. They have things that they want to do. They don't know where to start. They feel like if they don't have the funding in place that it's impossible. So how do you even face those fears and say, you know what, I'm going to go out here, I'm going to talk to people, I'm going to network, how do you even go about that?
Oh man, it's gonna sound easy, but it is. Mm-hmm. And like I said, the only thing that stops you from doing the easy is what's in your head. And I'm gonna use this analogy. If you want to be an Olympic medalist, say you want to win a gold, what's the first step to become an Olympic medalist in track and field? You got to start running. And that's the key.
Good.
You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
So you might start at the middle school level, but you're running.
Yeah.
You're gonna run track, and even if you don't make the team, you're gonna run the track anyway. When it's like Michael Jordan, he got cut from the team, right?
Yeah.
But he kept shooting.
Yeah. Kept shooting.
Right.
So
he was
you
in
got,
the gym.
yeah, you gotta start. You know what I mean? So how does that relate to music and things that I do? I wanted to put out a project. I didn't, and this is the thing too. A lot of times we try to wait for our ultimate peak before we start. Meaning, what I mean by that is your ultimate talent level. Like my first project, it wasn't all that dope, but it opened the door for my second project, which opened the door for my third project, which gave me the audience that I have now. I could have said, let me wait until I just sharpen it and get it perfect. But you be waiting 20, 30 years. God knows how to perfect your gift along the journey. So you can't just be like, let me wait till I'm like the dopest MC. I got the best punchlines, the best bars. No, just start writing and just start recording and put out what you have. And if you don't like it, you grow from it. And you grow from it. But somebody's gonna like it. I mean, and you'll turn around and you'll have fans and you like, I went somewhere the other day. Matter of fact, I was volunteer. I do a lot of volunteer work with sex trafficking. Because unfortunately, Atlanta's the #1 city for it, so I got a problem with that.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's like, that ain't cool. Not my city. Not any city for any matter. But I volunteer, and one of these young ladies, never met her before in my life. She walks up to me and she starts spitting my song about sex trafficking.
Wow.
And I'm like, dude, I've never met you in my life.
Impact.
And she spit my whole verse, and I was like, what in the world?
Wow.
She was like, my brother gave me your CD. This is my favorite song. And I'm like, it just blew my mind because
That's
sometimes
awesome,
we could look at ourselves as like, man, I don't have the resources, man, I'm not getting it. But what seems to be small to your mind, there it goes again, may be huge to someone else. So stop holding back your gifts based off your own limitations of resources.
Limitations of resources,
Yeah.
holding back your gift. And you know what? It's crazy that you even touched on the fact of not waiting.
No,
Because
I don't
so
believe
many
that.
times, even, again, me personally. You know what? I'm going to get a sound effect for every time I say me personally. What you think about that, Shivita?
It's a bit much,
like
but
a
that's
airplane flying over. It's train to catch planes, an airplane flying over.
I think that's too much.
You know what I'm saying? So every time I say me personally, but, I just like to relate it personally because I believe when you relate personally, people can relate to you personally through your experiences.
No, I get it.
So, so many times I've even paused or thought that I had to get better at something before I started. And it was crazy. I was having a conversation with my wife. We have a lot of conversations, of course. Corindiana, singer-songwriter, Resourceful Entertainment. Shout out to her. 12 and 12. 12 albums in 12 months. Never done. Making history. Plug.
Cheer.
Very much so.
But we were just talking about not being afraid to start walking, man. And not being afraid to show the vulnerable place. Not being afraid to show that, you know what, world, I'm not perfect. I don't have it all planned out. I don't have it all together. Yeah. But I'm going to show you my journey. And we kind of liken that to a walk on the beach. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you can take a long walk on the beach and you can approach a crowd ahead, and when they look back and they see your prints in the sand, they can respect where you came from.
That's
and
real.
Not only will they respect where you came from, but they can also see where you're going. And when they see those steps in the sand, when they see those steps in the sand, they begin to not only respect it, but cheer you on to get to your destination.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's real.
So I've decided, me personally, is to show my steps in the sand. I'm going to show you where I start. Yeah. I'm going to show you my process, my progress, and that's what Train Catch Planes is all about. All of us having a process, all of us moving into our destinies, and we just gonna do it together, and we gonna show it.
That's real, man. I'm with y'all. I'm walking in the sand by y'all, man.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Step in the sand. Step in the sandbox. You know what I'm saying? What are some of those ways that we can tap into resources and resourcefulness?
You know, the good thing about that is when you show your process, that becomes like a reference for somebody else that's walking out their dream. They know to start and keep going because you won't end up where you started. So one thing that I've learned about being resourceful is being willing to self-educate yourself. You have to go out there and get it. So read the books, watch webinars, go on the internet.
Yeah. Self-education is so important. Going out, taking it upon yourself to get the knowledge, the wisdom, and moving forward in that thing that you want. So what are some of the ways when it came to your situation, even when you talk about, you know what, I want to talk about the book. I want to talk about doing a book.
Gotcha.
Because so many people be like, yo, I'm about to write a book this summer. And then that book never comes out.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? So being someone who took the leap into writing a book, never written a book before, and just said, you know what, I'm doing it. Now you're on your third.
Yeah.
Run the titles down for us and then tell us about the first one.
My first book dropped in 2013. Well, June of 2013, Recognize Your Fly. My second book dropped October of 2013 called Redefine Beautiful. And my third book dropped March of this year, which is my #1 selling book thus far, called Residue.
Come on. Yeah. Come on. You got a #1 seller under your belt.
Well, it's one #1 seller for me.
No.
Right. But
it's a #1 seller.
I receive it. I
cut for me off. I chose to cut the for me off, and it's a #1 seller.
I receive it.
You know what I'm saying? We get it like we got it, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So tell us about that process of saying, I'm going to write a book, actually jumping into writing a book, and then actually completing a book and releasing a book.
First hardest part is starting. Because you're like, okay, how do I write a book? First, you just start writing. And I know that sounds simple, but let me break it down to you a little more. If you feel like I don't know what I want to write, first of all, write your ideas down. Like, say, what do you want to talk about in your book? You want your book to be about confidence, just throwing something out there. Write down confidence and then write down an outline of what you want to hit on about confidence. You want to talk about self-confidence, you know, how to restore your confidence or how to encourage others to have confidence. They're your chapters right there. You had your bullet points, now you got your chapters. And then you go back and you put meat to each chapter. And you don't have to write them in order. You don't have to write the book from start to finish. Sometimes I do the last chapter before I do the first chapter. I just start writing. My first book, I started writing on my phone.
Wow.
I just started writing thoughts on my iPhone. I'm just sitting there writing in my notepad. And I took it and I started organizing it. And it's not that I'm a brilliant writer either. And that's why I think it's important to what you said earlier too, Brian. You said that, and Shivita, you were saying like how people got to see your process. Because the thing about it is, sometimes when they look at you, they think that they only see your glory. They'll think that's not attainable. Like it's
Come
like
on.
I can't achieve that because they came out dope from the you know what I mean. But when people look and they see your process, like when Fly first started, she sounded like that, and she sounded like that, and she sounded like, but now she sound like this, you know. And now her books, you know, I could say my last book was better than my first. It was supposed to be because I'm learning how to do it more and more and more, and it's a journey of mastery. We don't necessarily master things overnight, and you can't master if you never start. So
Fly, I gotta interject right there, man, because I have to just first of all tell the people it was such a privilege to even be able to be in the studio in the beginning of your journey.
Yes,
with you
were.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
boys in the cooker up.
like, that's awesome, man. You know what I'm saying? To see where you are now and to know where you came from, at least to know a piece of where you came from, because I know, you know, your mountain is even deeper than that. But where I was introduced to your gift, it was you know,
dope, man.
Hey, man, it's amazing to see the progress.
Thanks, bro.
And the process, because your process became inspiration to even what we do.
Wow, thanks,
You
bro.
know what I'm saying?
You recorded my first full song.
Oh! Nikita, you heard that?
2011.
2011.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Back to your book, shawty.
Yeah, man. With books, man, I think a lot of people have a story, and I think you just have to write, man. And like I said, the hardest part is starting, but the second hardest part is finishing. Because I know a lot of people like, yo, I'm writing a book.
Wow.
7 years later, yo, I'm writing a book. And so what I started doing, realistic stuff, you know what I mean, practical things. People don't know this, I set a day for when my book gonna come out, my CD come out, anything I put out, and I put it on social media. It ain't nowhere near done. Yeah. But that puts the pressure on me to not let down my fan base and to be a person, you know what I mean? I'm like, it's coming out this day, I'm gonna put it out that day. So if I give myself like months ahead of time, or I put it on my calendar, I'm like, all right, my book coming out October 1st. Yeah. All right, so what I gotta do? I write down every step. Wow. Whether it's I gotta get the flyer made, who gonna design the book cover? Hey, how much you gonna charge me for the book cover? I'm
pulling resources.
I'm pulling resources. I'm calling people. Hey, you design graphics? Is it somebody at your church? Is it somebody you went to school with? People. This is the thing about social media. Shivita brought that up. On social media, everybody advertise what they do. Yeah. Somebody on there drawing. Yeah. Somebody on there. I created this flyer. Dope. Let me call you. How much you charge? I charge $150. Is that in your budget? That may not be. How much you charge? I charge $50. I only got $50. That'll work for my budget. Yeah. You know, and then not that you always go cheap, but you try to do the most excellent product you can with the money you have. Yeah. And then a lot of times too, when you are doing something positive, and this is just my faith, because I'm a person that believes in God. God will send you favor. Yeah. So then you'll have people that be like, man, I ain't charging you enough for that, or I'll discount it for you, and then you don't have to sacrifice the quality to have the product, because I really believe in putting out excellence at the same time. So you ain't just trying to throw out some trash because you don't have no budget. I believe that when you're moving, this is my number one philosophy for people that want to start something and do it and don't have a budget. When you start doing it, that's real faith. Faith ain't sitting at home telling I believe. Faith is writing the book. Because when you write the book and God sees you serious about it, the resources attract you. Come on. So now you ain't trying to go out here and find what's happening. It just comes to you. Because he wants to see that your faith is in motion. Once your faith is in motion, he supplies every need. But your faith is in motion by writing a song, recording an album, writing the book, like, or whatever it is your dream is. You have to do it, and then the resources come. But if you're not doing anything, the resource ain't gonna sit. If you sitting at home waiting for the money, you ain't never gonna get anywhere. You stay at home doing the vision, and then the resources attract to your vision. Yeah. You know.
So we're saying that faith action works. Yeah. So when you put that faith in action, the resources line up.
Yeah. It's beyond just believing. It's actually
beyond belief.
Yeah, faith without works is dead.
Beyond belief.
It's beyond just.
That's good, man. Know? So what would you say to the listener right now? Because I can hear them right now. Well, that worked for her, but I don't think it'll work for me. What would you say to that listener? Because there's so many of them sitting there like, I hear that, but my circumstances, they're a little bit different. I literally have nothing other than a thought. What would you say to that listener?
Your thought is the creator of wealth. Everything starts with a thought. iPhone started with a thought. So in your thought is everything you need. And so I think I don't believe that. Because you gotta understand something. And I didn't tell this part of my story because I ain't trying to go deep with my story.
Yeah.
But when I started everything, I quit my job.
Yeah.
I don't have no money, like, at all.
Okay, hold on.
I didn't have a job.
You
I
hear
didn't
this?
have a paycheck coming in.
So hold on. When you started all of this,
I had no job.
you stopped working your 9 to 5
Yeah.
or 10 to 6 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And you
Salary.
started walking this thing purely in faith.
No money coming in.
Wow.
Not to this day, I don't have a 9 to 5.
Wow.
I don't have a job. I mean, technically, I don't have a job. So you're talking to somebody who had zero budget for real, like somebody who was like putting $2 in the gas tank to get to the next meeting or to get to the studio session.
Come on.
And using an income, what it was, a refund check to fund out my first album.
Yeah.
Because I did have a check coming from my last working situation. Like, so I started with nothing, and I still don't have a steady check coming in the sense of a 9 to 5 check. I have faith checks coming in at all times.
Faith checks.
Yeah,
faith checks.
But
I like that. Faith checks.
Y'all at all times. But it's like, you know, you can't say it won't happen to you until you do it. You know what I mean? You got to do it. And I'm telling you, like, you just got to do it. And I think, to me, that's another excuse. And one thing that I realized about excuses recently is that excuse is designed to not only convince the other person on why you can't do it, but to convince you on why you can't do it. So you can sit home and be like, yo, that can't happen to me all you want to, but all you doing is talking yourself out of your own destiny.
Wow.
So
Talking
no excuses,
yourself
man.
out of destiny.
Fly, with everything that you do, I know our listeners would like to know, at least I want to know, what is your ultimate vision? What is the thing that you're driving for?
My ultimate vision is basically to be in the conversation when it comes to what it means to be a lady, in a sense, and to be fly. And I know that's my name, but fly is an acronym for faith, love, and youth. And so what does it mean to be a person of faith? What does it mean to be a person of love? What it means to be a person of youthfulness, enjoying life and staying young in the mind as until you leave this earth. And so, like, that's my ultimate purpose, is to spread flyness around the world. Like, spread what it means to be fly as a lady, fly as a gentleman, and whatever, whoever you are. But ultimately, that's my peak status.
I got to give a shout out to a fly gentleman by the name of Mr. Don Bobo.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? House of Kings, man.
Shout out, man.
House of Kings, man. Hey, we're going to have him on the show, too, man.
Yo, you should have him. He's a character.
We definitely going to have Don Bobo
him, man.
on the show, man. House of Kings, I love what he's
House
doing
of Kings,
over there.
man.
I love the, well, first of all, tell us about House of Kings real quick.
Shout out to Bobo, my other complete person, my husband. But he has a clothing line, tailored line. Most people think it's like, they be like, yo, bring me a suit. And he's like, I can't do that because I don't sell suits.
Yeah.
Like off the shelf. I sell them to tailor make your body, so I have to make it for you.
Yeah.
So it's a tailor made company. Right now we're working on getting his storefront, which is called a haberdashery. And so
Don Bobo, you're coming on the show. You're coming on Train to Catch Planes.
Yeah.
We need you. Come on.
Yeah, man. So he's doing his thing with his bespoke clothing line. That's the proper term for it.
Okay, say the proper term for his clothing line again.
Bespoke.
Bespoke.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's,
well, you know what? No.
You're going to find out when he comes on the show.
I'm going to talk to Don Bobo about
that.
You know what I'm saying? That's awesome, man. I love you guys as a power couple.
Thank you, man.
Very, very.
We young get it.
Yeah, man.
We trying to get like you and Corinne Deanna, Historical ENT.
Hey,
12 and 12.
Come on.
I had to do the drop that time.
Hey, drop. It's about that time, Shivita. And what is that time? It is time for us to introduce our song of the day. Before we go into the song of the day, let the people know where they can reach you. How can they contact you? How can they connect with Fly Music?
Yeah, man. Fly Music. www.flymusic.com. Remember, it's with the Q at the end of music instead of a C. And on social media, everything is Fly Music across the board. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, website, Fly Music.
Shout out to your brand architecture. And without any more delay, I'm going to let the lady of the hour jump in and let us know what's about to play.
First of all, thanks again for having me on the show. I'm so honored, man. I'm training to catch planes.
Come on.
This is the last song I dropped, my single Residue. It actually was like a song soundtrack of my book Residue, which was dedicated to young ladies that's being delivered from sexual abuse of any kind. And so it's just about, hey man, no matter what you've been through, whether it's heartbreak or abuse or whatever, shake off the residue, man. Let it go. We don't have to be victims to our past anymore. We can let it go. We can shake it off and embrace our destiny, which is amazing. And so whoever you are out there, shake off your residue. Check out my song single Residue featuring Angelina Cherie.
Cheer. Let's take a listen.
Yeah. Let go.
Being fly all the time is what I do. We turn it up, shaking off that residue.
Okay.
Go. It's time for the queens come back. From the big house to the trap.
Okay.
Money don't mean nothing, you worth more than them stacks. So a couple raps can't be ball or soul. Start aiming for your goals. Stop searching for that gold. Don't wanna lose your soul. It's just not yet cause you can't double decker. Don't be the easy type. Powerful and purpose. Get your mind right. Wake up, better get up from what you're going through. Let your past go. Shake off that residue.
Got my team with me. We don't want no problems, we just tryna get to it. Now we on that no more residue.
Being fly all the time is what I do.
No more residue.
We turn it up, shaking off that residue.
Got my team with me. We don't want no problems, we just tryna get to it. Now we on that no more residue.
Being fly all the time is what I do.
No more residue.
We turn it up, shaking off that residue. They say protect your body, but what about your hope? When your heart been broke so many times that you don't know how to cope. Seeking sexual highs that go up and down just like you smoking dope. Going to the doctor, feeling positive, praying that he say no. That daily stress of compromising your royalty. Your body is a temple, girl, you owe it your loyalty. Men treat you like you let them, cause you let them. Love yourself, you were a queen before you met them.
Got my team with me. We don't want no problems, we just tryna get to it. Now we on that no more residue.
Being fly all the time is what I do.
No more residue.
We turn it up, shaking off that residue.
Got my team with me. We don't want no problems, we just tryna get to it. Now we on that no more residue.
Being fly all the time is what I do.
No more residue.
We turn it up, shaking off that residue. Go, go, go.
Say it with me now. Residue, residue, eh, eh. Say it with me now. Residue, residue, eh, eh. Got my team with me. We don't want no problems, we just tryna get to it. Now we on that no more residue.
Being fly all the time is what I do.
No more residue.
We turn it up, shaking off that residue.
Got my team with me. We